This is Twit.
Bloomberg reports Apple has trademarked the name iWatch in Japan. The trademark was filed June 3rd and made public last week. It covers products including a handheld computer or watch device. A Russian newspaper reported the iWatch name was trademarked in Russia last month.
Back during Mobile World Congress, a bunch of carriers showed support for Mozilla's HTML5 open web mobile platform, Firefox OS. Today, the launch date of the first commercial Firefox OS phone has been confirmed. The ZTE Open is going to go on sale tomorrow in Spain on Telefónica's Movistar network. It'll cost about 69 euros or around $90, which includes a prepaid balance of 30 euros for prepaid customers, plus a 4-gigabyte micro SD card.
Time to freak out because we have some more PRISM news. The Washington Post reports that the National Security Agency can track real-time events like sending email, logging in, or out-of-chat services, or even email logins. The information comes from a newly leaked PRISM slide. The real-time data collection is raising questions about the level of compliance by companies or whether the government has installed its own hardware to monitor such events.
Yeah, in fact, if you want really good coverage of the PRISM stuff, keep subscribed to Security Now with Steve Gibson. They've been doing a great job on that. Microsoft's Xbox Music web client is live. Go to music.xbox.com and you can see it. The web version looks similar to the new app for Windows 8.1, although it has fewer features. Microsoft plans to expand its music service to non-Windows platforms like Android and iOS as well.
Investor Aro Icon has raised more than the $5 billion he needs to finance a recapitalization of Dell, a plan that he says will be more attractive to shareholders than the $24.4 billion leveraged buyout proposed by CEO Michael Dell and private equity firm Silver Lake Partners. With the July 18th proxy vote on the horizon, Icahn, who's now Dell's second largest shareholder after Dell, Michael Dell himself, has proposed a few different variations of a plan he says will use Dell's existing cash to pay out a special dividend to shareholders, take a portion of the company private, and then leave a portion of it publicly traded.
Kara Swisher from All Things D reports Don Mattrick, president of Microsoft's interactive entertainment business and the guy who took all of the Xbox One credit and blame, is leaving Microsoft. Swisher's sources claim Mattrick will leave to take a job at Zynga, possibly as CEO.
You know, if you don't have the internet, then you shouldn't use Zynga. Speaking of ICANN, a different one. This one's ICANN, the organization that oversees domain registration. They have approved new rules for domain registrars. When the new rules take effect at a later date, users will need to verify their email address or their phone number, one or the other, within 15 days of applying for a new domain. When registrars sign the new agreement later this year, they will also commit to keeping information about registrants for 2 years after a domain registration is canceled, as well as logging the IP address from which the registration request was made for 180 days.
Remember when HP spent $1.2 billion on Palm and then kind of dismantled that whole OS and the hardware before it ever really got started? Well, the company may be ready to get back into it. CEO Meg Whitman has said that we have to ultimately offer a smartphone, and reports are pointing to Android-based hardware as well. An HP executive from the company's Asia-Pacific division told the Indian Express that it was still in the works and that HP has to be in the game, but didn't give a timetable for any future products.
Get your head in the game, HP. The U.S. Second Circuit of Appeals overturned a lower court decision to grant class action status to the Authors Guild and their lawsuit against Google over the scanning of books. That's a big win for Google. The court also told Judge Denny Chin to rule on whether Google's book scanning is fair use or not.
Intel CEO Brian Krzanich says the company will speed up the introduction of its chips for tablets, phones, and wearable computers. Krzanich and Intel President Renee James both said that wearable devices will become a key battleground for mobile companies. On the Intel television service front, Krzanich proved he isn't crazy by saying Intel is being cautious and careful in the content industry.